Hi everybody, Russ here with Flying Saucer Television, UFO Paranormal TV. And yeah, what a strange weekend. We've had quite a lot of talk going on about this. First of all, we've got this strange balloon that's been, is it meandering about up and down America until finally Sleepy Joe decided to blow it out of the sky. And, sort of like to be over somebody's airspace for so long and to decide to get rid of it, destroy it and what have you, sort of like after it's been there for days, it is beyond belief. And, again, just what has it been doing there? And are we going to have the same as 3 years ago? Are we going to start, or are you going to start in America coming down with all sorts of illnesses and viruses and what have you? Like we did with this plague, this make believe pandemic, what we had. There's big questions there. Sort of like just what was it? Where did it come from? I mean, everybody's saying it was Chinese, it was a balloon, etc. But it's a case of you would have thought that there'd have been something, sent around from one government to another government, like an apology saying, sorry that our balloon has been over your country for so long and what have you, and it just beggars belief. Now what I'm hearing tonight is there seems to have been another incident where has there been a UFO shot down over Canada. And I'm just trying to, just bear with us, I'm just gonna, because and Trudeau was on. All right, Nick. Trudeau was on apparently earlier. Let me just see if I can. So did he actually say anything that was to do with a UFO that had actually been shot down? Let me just see here. Updates and what have you. Somebody with a banana in the face. I don't know what that's about. No. Let me have a look. So, right, okay. Nothing there. Nothing there as such. So it can any start again. Can anybody help us out? Has anybody seen anything regarding Trudeau and this press release? What he's done about a UFO or whatever? What the shot down over Canada? Has anybody got any information? Because it would be a good thing to talk about tonight if anybody wants to come and talk. Right, so just bear with us a minute. Hang on. I'm not being rude. I was just trying to get some information. Just try to get some information there. Right, let's have a look here. Show information. So I'll tell you something. I better put my specs on. Oh, that was clever. They have said nothing much, just it was a cylinder shape cylinder in shape. Um, a cylinder in shape. Wow. So I suppose, wow, that could be anything, I suppose, couldn't it, really? But then again, they've actually admitted that they'd actually shot something down. It's just I was talking to Seth earlier, just saying that, so long as there's no repercussions, sort of like it's okay. But, if there's repercussions afterwards, sort of like that ain't going to be good, is it? I mean, uh, remember, I did say that 3 year ago, if you remember rightly, I said about a civil war, well, a war going on around the world, but it's a bit like a civil war, and we're over the borders in Eastern Europe, and the Russians were involved, and we're involved, America's involved, and I did mention this, if you remember, back then. Uh, Yeah, well, I've been keeping my eye on it as well, Annette. And to be honest, it's one of these things where uh, it's like anything else. You get a news item that comes on, and then it's like repeated, isn't it? So you're just getting a repeat, and that's all that we've been getting, sort of like the repeats and what have you. Um, which is no good, really, is it? Uh, so I'm just looking at some messages. When your brain's a bit slower than a message, and sorry about that. So, yeah, so we've got a factual happening where the Canadians have shot a cylindrical object down out of the sky, but there's nothing more really that we know about. No, well, this is it, sort of like what's the saying? Ours is a reason why, they don't really want to tell us. I mean, the thing is, all this lot's going to be denoticed anyway. Sort of like it's going to be defense noticed. So, that means if there's going to be any harm, sort of like to the defense of our realm or the country, sort of like what they'll do is they'll just knock it on the head and they won't let us, have any information, you know. But it's just one of those things, isn't it? What can you do? Are they right? Sort of like there's two schools of thought that says, are they right in holding this information back? Sort of like about UFOs. If UFOs are really here, I mean, forget what I say, but if UFOs are really here and sort of like they're up to no good and what have you, do you really want to know? Do you really want to know what's happening? Or would you rather be like a mushroom in the dark? You know? So anybody listening, you can come and you can talk if you want, and you can come on the show as well if you want, and discuss this. What is your opinion? Should, the powers that be come clean and tell us what's going on? And, have we got a right to know what is going on? Have we got any say in the matter? Do you think that we should have a say in the matter? So that's a big question there for anybody. And if you'd like to give your opinion, please do. Just let us know. If you type in what you think, And what I will do is I'll type in your name and call you back on Messenger to come on the show if you want. Well, yeah, you've just hit the nail on the head there, Annette. If you want to come on the show, just say yeah, and I'll send you a link over. But we're talking about, have we got the right to know? Tonight on my show, everybody's show, which is Flying Saucer Television, UFO Paranormal TV. Have we got the right to know? Have we got the right to know whether there's an alien civilization, an alien race that are visiting, or whether they're here on this planet, or if they're on a planet and they're visiting to and fro, or if they're up to no good? Do we have the right to know the truth? So if you'd like to message me and let us know what you think. And while I'm talking, actually, I've just been looking at the protocol and what have you, and it says really I should, before I do a show, I should spend time basically writing a load of details down and what have you, and posting it a week before, so that Yardstream and Google can place the show out there. I didn't realize that. I'm one of these people that I do everything off of the cuff. I do it as and when. Yeah, well, that's right. Yeah, if we did find out, like Annette says, would there be mass panic? Would there be people panicking? Because I mean, some people don't believe. Some people don't believe in this subject, and it's not because of anything more than one thing, and that thing is religion. Now, religion can get to grips with people. If you've been brought up in a particular religious belief, and that religious belief doesn't believe in aliens, and you're told later on down the line, that aliens exist, and not only that they exist, but the sort of like around and about, and they have been for a number of years. What would that do to your faith? You know, what would that do to your faith if you'd been brought up where if you go to church and you're sort of like a vicar or whatever, um, turns round and he says that you know there's no such thing, etc. And then you had to find out that there was, you know, would that have an effect on you? I wonder. Would that have an effect on you? Because I think a religious belief for most people around the world is something that is second to none. If you've got a religious belief, it's usually um, being put there, usually by your parents, grandparents, etc. It's been passed down, hasn't it? go to church and, you know, and then all of a sudden you're told that indeed there is something, would that sit well with you? Would that sit well with you? Or would you just carry on regardless? Sort of like even if it wasn't what you thought and it wasn't what you wanted, would you just be able to carry on regardless and think, oh well, you know, or would you feel like it was either sort of like, um, sort of like, excuse me, would you feel let down? Would you feel like, um, if you hadn't been told as somebody, a religious scholar, didn't know, sort of like, would you say, well, they should have known? All right then, mate. Is it? I'll tell you something. I better start putting my specs back on. Oh, that hurt. Is it IO Walks? IO Walks. All right, mate. We're just talking about. Would you feel let down if we was told by the powers that be that aliens did actually live and they were around and they'd been around for quite a number of years? Because it has been said, from 1947, like with Roswell and what have you, that the Americans knew. And if they knew and you only just find out later and you have a religious belief and in your belief it doesn't mention aliens, would you still be a person that went to church that believed? Would you sort of like not believe anymore in God because sort of like maybe your whole world had been shattered, your belief had been shattered? What would sort of like think? Would you think to yourself, well, I haven't been told about this, and why not? You've seen an alien. Where was this, Iowalks? Where was this? Are you in America? Oops, what am I doing here? Oops. Did I just do that right then? I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh dear. Just bear with me. Yes. Lower in USA. Yeah. Eleanor Rigby. That's a good one, is that? Yeah. Lives in a dream. Yeah. Well, the thing is, a lot of people live in dreams. That's a problem. What what type of alien walks did you see? Was it your typical alien grey? I was looking at some of these. I'll put these up so you can see. So so you seen one in the flesh. Well, you and me too, mate. You and me too. And I wish I hadn't, to be quite honest, because it's one of these things where people say, "Oh, well, fantastic," and was it brilliant and all this lot. And to be quite honest, no, it wasn't. You know, it wasn't good whatsoever. So, each to their own. Some people, I suppose, uh, like talking about things that they think's happened to them. This actually happened to me, and to be quite honest, I wish it hadn't happened to me. Sort of like a lifelong abductee talking here. So, you know, um, not a good thing. It was pure energy, and it morphed into a village on fire. The woman and children inside screaming. Wow. Well, I don't know what to say to that, really. Um, it morphed into a village on fire. Woman and children inside screaming. So was the woman and children trying to give you a message? Do you mean? Wow, this is unbelievable. So, like, that is powerful. Then that is powerful. Pure energy, and it morphed into a village on fire. I don't know what you mean by morphed into a village on fire. I don't know what that actually means. Um, that's incredible. It really is. So, did it then disappear, or sort of like, did anybody else see it? I mean, so what do you mean? It actually looked like you were looking where you live at the village on fire. Wow, that's unbelievable. It really is. Very, very odd. Oh no. Oh, just pressing the wrong buttons there. Hang on. Just bear with us a minute. Right, okay. Here we go. It wiped, it was away and appeared uh, it then felt. Hang on, wait a minute. Let me put it up here so I can see. It wiped who I was away when I approached it and then left for war. You felt like it pulls away from it, but and was reached out for it. Wow, that's strange. Very strange. Yeah, there's the thing is, there's lots of different types of craft, and they're not only craft. Some of these things, like you were saying, like power, energy surges, things that you can't explain. Um, sort of like things that you just you just don't know how to describe what you're seeing. I know that I seen things, and and I can describe what I've seen, and still can't be 100% in getting it right. Because a lot of the time, we're looking and we're talking about craft here that are like things that you've never seen before in your life. You know, it's just unbelievable. You just don't know what some people might describe. Sort of like might be different to how you describe it as well. That's the other thing. You know, but so this is amazing. So has anybody else seen anything out there? Does anybody else believe that we've got the right to know the truth? You know, have we got the right to have this disclosure? Have we got the right to have this disclosure? So so you said you felt like you was dying when this was happening to you for 3 minutes. Right. Well, that's different. That's totally different to what people normally speak to us about. So let's put these up so people can see. So he wasn't conscious when this happened. So he was obviously then if he wasn't conscious, you must have been unconscious then, yeah? Spare us a minute. Hang on. Yeah, I think you're right there. I think that they are around us, and so they've got technology, and you wouldn't know them. You wouldn't know them. I know that for certain. You saw reality turn into water, and then silver, then Sliver pulled you in. Wow, incredible is this? Wow, yeah. So we've got a lot of people that keep on coming on and dropping little hints at there's things that have happened, and so is anybody else there? Anybody else want to come and tell us about anything that's happened to them? Because the thing is, nobody will put you down on this show. You tell us what you think, and that's it. There's nobody judging anybody on this show. I don't judge. If you've got anything to say, you want to put it up here, you're quite welcome to. Just because the same thing hasn't happened to me doesn't mean to say that it's wrong. Doesn't mean to say that it hasn't happened to you. you know like I say, everybody's abductions are different to one person to the next, totally different. They're not all the same. Sometimes I hear sort of like people telling me things, and to be quite honest, I've read exactly what they've said in a book. You know what I mean? That's when you do start getting a bit worried. A man on the tram. Wow, yeah. Just bear with us a minute. I'll just put that up, Net, so people can see that. Yeah, you can feel when there's people and they're not right. You know what I mean? They're just not right, are they? And you can sense them. I get that. Right, let's have a look what iWalk says. Communicate directly through a hive intelligence that lies dormant in all of us. Well, now then, that's strange you should say that. It is in the light when it comes to good and evil, and it lies dormant in as well. There's some mystical schools and teachings that believe in this, about this power, and basically it's one of those things where uh, I imagine it's like anything else, as mystical schools and what have you, and it takes you so long to you're first initiated into these schools, and then you've got to go through all this these levels, sort of like and at the end of these levels, then you're supposed to become a higher being or an higher intelligence, apparently. And it's supposed to be, you're supposed to become, or what do they call it now? You become a Gnostic, not a agnostic, because that's somebody that don't believe or doesn't know. But a Gnostic means it means knowing. So you become somebody that knows. So you go through all these steps, and you become aware of everything around you, and basically you're supposed to learn what it's all about. You know what I mean? This makes me wonder. Some people won't know what it's about if it bit them in the backside. You know what I mean? Not being funny, but I just have that belief. You know, yeah, it is a light when it becomes good and evil. Well, yeah, I can understand that. You know, is light and good and darkness, which is the good and which is the evil? If you're in the light, are you good? Or in the dark, are you good? Just wondering there. When you refer to good and evil and light and dark, sort of like lightness and darkness, which are actually the good and the bad. Is it the ones that are walking in the dark that are bad? Let me just see what that says. I'd be better off putting my specs on again. Oh, dear. Ow. Very interested in Gnosticism. Yeah, well, I am actually. So when you was activated, absorb the manipulation, I met it with reality breaking power. Right, wow. It's more light when it comes to evil, and the path it will crush any in its way. Yeah, well, that's like power. That's like you get in the way of power, and you usually get a whack on the and end up on your bum. That is, yeah. That's like any sort of power, whether it comes from lightning or whatever. Sort of like you get in the way of power and touch it and what have you, and get a belt from it. You know that you've been belted. Sort of like sometimes people don't come back from getting hit by power. But I know what you're saying. So I mean, all this is from something that happened. Somebody'd seen something, and basically, it must have changed. This must have changed your life. This must have changed your life. Higher walks. It's like anything else. When you come into contact with something like this, something paranormal, something that is out of this world and experience, and you see something, it does, sort of like make you wonder, you know. Let me just look here a minute. Ow. It's more light than it comes to evil effects and path can crush in its way. Yeah. And then what did you put next there? It waged war with you. Oh no, I waged war with it. Sorry. Wow. Like an instinct that had no choice. So why would you wage war on it? You know, sort of like why would you wage war on it? You know, sort of like did you feel threatened? Did you feel that it was trying to take your life or something? Wow, very strange. When you woke, you felt it had to write it down like an ant that found honey and it threatened you. Me. It was believe or die. Just put that down so people can see. Damn. So why? So why would it say believe or die? That's not a good alternative, is it? You know what I mean? Believe me or die. You know what I mean? It's not. It's getting a bit deep for me. Is this? Wow. I'm just trying to think what would. So obviously you believed. You're still here, so obviously you must have believed. Excuse me. No. So, is there anybody else that wants to come on and have a chat and tell us how they feel about maybe, you know, if there is something out there that we're not being told about, you know, do we deserve to know, you know, what it is, where it's come from, what it's about, or what, you know? Do you believe in this right to know, this disclosure? Have we got the right to disclosure? You know, have you had anything happen to you that you've found that you know very hard to talk about? Have you had something happen to you paranormal wise? Have you seen something? Have you Have you had something show itself to you and then basically turn around and because of a religious belief or conviction, you thought to yourself, you know, you don't believe anymore in that religious conviction, and it's made you that you don't want to know either what you've seen or what you used to believe in. Is there anybody out there that's had that happen to them and that dare come on and tell us that? Is anybody is there anybody there? Is there anybody there? Excuse me. As you can see, I'm a bit tired tonight. Right, okay. So it came, said, is this that what I'm after? Magic. Magic, it just disappeared. So stop it. It came to me and said, is this what I'm after? Mad bop. I poked my eye and I only borrowed it. Well, right. I'm at a loss here now. War is coming, and as normal, the sightings get more and more when one is about to happen. Yeah, well, yeah, this is it. Does anybody think that this is like an harbinger? Sort of like that there's a war creeping up on us with the amount of UFO reports and sightings and all this lot. So does anybody think it's this a precursor to, could it be Armageddon? Is that the word Armageddon? Could it be Armageddon? You know, it does make you wonder. It really does make you wonder, doesn't it? It does make you wonder. Sort of like, are we getting more UFO reports? I'm not sure that we are. Who says that we're getting more? Is it somebody from a UFO group? Are they getting more any more UFO reports in their group? You know, is there more people in their group? Sort of like filling in report forms. sort of like making up the numbers, sort of like, look at us here. We've got all these reports, reports are going up. We said so. Our group can prove it, sort of like, because you get a lot of that. I remember years ago, going back over 20 years ago now, where there were people and they were filling reports in and, sort of like writing off to MOD every other week, sort of like every other week that they were getting in contact, sort of like because they wanted their area to be number one in the hit parade of UFOs. You know what I mean? The trouble was that it wasn't, and it was bullshit. Pardon me, it was bull. You know, well, I don't believe that. They will not be allowed to use nuclear weapons. Why not? Why not, Annette? And Iwoks, you don't hear many like yourself talking deeply about what they saw. I've got a book out and I go into some depth. That's pretty deep about what had happened to me, being abducted and put into a military unit to fight as a super soldier for this alien race. So, yeah, I know what you're saying. Oh, flipping it. Yeah. No, I suppose that we don't get enough people telling us about their um, what they saw. Full stop. Whether it's talking deeply about it or just talking about it. The problem is we don't get enough people talking. Only problem is that sometimes you get people that do talk about it are just I'm at a loss when they're talking about it, to be honest, because you know there used to be a program over here called Jack and Ori, and I always think some of these people have been watching Jack and Ori. Sort of like when I see it in papers and news, it's like oh, that's that is a tale to tell. Excuse me, but the pole shift is about to happen. Apparently, it's already happened. You know, apparently, scientists have already said that the pole shift has already happened. Well, I've no idea. Iowalks, I have no idea what that means. You're the captain now. Oh. You know. I do get them. I've got the fucking red light on somewhere. I've got the fucking red loony light on. I knew it. Why didn't somebody tell me? Russ Kelly, you left the fucking red loony light on. And nobody told me. Oh, dear. Where's Annette? Right, you can always depend on Annette. Let me put me specky doodles on. Let me put me Yeah, I don't think there will be a nuclear war, and the simple reason is there's too much to lose. You know what I mean? Too much to lose, and people with families. You know what I mean? Um, yeah. Oh dear. Right. So, yeah. Just bear with us. How does that happen? Why does that not work right? Soldiers of the other side don't come back alive. You're number five. That rhymes. Soldiers from the other side don't come back alive. I'm number five. That you should be a songwriter. This guy should be a songwriter. Oh dear. So, well, oh, what time is it? 57, going on 58. 50, I've got 2.5 minutes, and I've been told don't go over an hour for the simple reason there's a problem if we go over an hour when we're putting all this together and what have you. I've been told to do if you're going to do 2 hours, do 1 hour slot and then a second hour slot. It fits in better, apparently. And it can go straight up or something, like if you're not editing it. So, anyway, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. So, what I'm going to say is it's nearly an hour, and thanks to anybody that's been listening and watching, and I've been around for over 3 weeks and what have you, and just getting over this illness and one thing and another with the damn computers and laptops and one thing and another. There's always something. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say thank you, Annette, Iowa Walks, Winston Smith, and Annette, yeah, and David. Thank you very much for coming on the show and for taking part. And if you want to join us and come on and actually talk about a subject, if you've seen a ghost, an alien, a UFO, if you've been abducted, sort of like anything, sort of like you're into ghost hunting, if you're looking for, if you're cryptozoologist, looking for these strange animals, wolfman, dogman, Bigfoot, etc. Just get in touch with us. If you've got an hobby or an interest or something that's deep rooted in your life, and you want to take part in the show, please come on the show. You're welcome. And like I said, thanks again to everybody for taking part in the show. Good night. God bless.